Hello and welcome to TOW, Trashooze Wrestling. Live from the Palms Casino in Las Vegas, it's the countdown to TNA Hard to Kill pre-show. 1,800 in attendance, the highest attendance in 8 years for TNA. The pre-show match card sees Rich Swann take on Steve Maclin, followed by The System taking on Eric Young and Kaz. Then in your countdown to Hard to Kill pre-show main event, Tommy Dreamer defends his Digital Media Championship against Crazy Steve in a no DQ matchup. Matthew Raywalt and Tom Hannafin are on commentary, and a new ring announcer, Jennifer Chung, is here. She's great, but what about David Penzner? As it would turn out, this is a passing of the torch from Penzer to Jade. I would have liked to see Penzer in a senior announcer position, like the Howard Finkel of TNA. Match 1, first match of the new TNA. Both former Impact World Champions, Rich Swann versus Steve Maclin. Swann out first, in his Flash Funk getup. You know it's the Mac Militant. Not Rodney Mack, but Steve Maclin out next. Got a bit of a Ron Perlman face to him. We get our first TNA chant of the night. First of many. Swann points to the TNA logo and gets some more TNA chants going. Back and forth action. Swann hits a Hurricanrana, then after 2 senton dives to the outside, off comes the jumpsuit. Back in the ring, Swann hits a crossbody on Maclin and follows up with some knife-edge chops. Maclin is able to regain the advantage and deliver some chops of his own. Maclin leg drops on Swann at the ring apron, then a backbreaker, but it's only a 2 count. Swann retaliates with a few smacks, but a nice Uranagi by Maclin puts him back on top. Swann gets some distance from Maclin with some boots, and a rope-a-dope flurry of offense. Swann gets a 2 count, then Swann sets off to the top rope, but it's too slow as Maclin hits the top rope cutter. He goes for a pin, but only gets a 2. Swann back on top with a single leg kick, followed by a 450 off the top rope by Swann. It only gets a 2 count, but it also gets a TNA chant. Swann attempts a high-risk maneuver at the top rope, but Maclin reverses. Maclin hits a jar headbutt, a backbreaker, and then a Boston Crab. Swann gets to the ropes. Springboard cutter and Kofi's Trouble in Paradise, but only a 2 count for Swann. He misses a Phoenix Splash, caught in the crosshairs, and a KIA. Maclin gets the 1-2-3 in the new era of TNA in 12 minutes. I'd give this a gray trash bag. It's a solid opener, and I really like both of these guys on the roster. We get a promo package with Moose and Alex Shelley for the world title. We also see clips from their interview segment. I've seen a good Moose promo before, but their interview segment was a little awkward, not gonna lie. Backstage, Gia Miller interviews The System. This has potential for being the worst segment of the night, as not one of them could cut a good promo. Yeah, they're the system of jobbers. In ring, a kid who looks to be well into his 50s. Whose kid is this? AJ Francis, formerly known as Top Dollar, is on his way out. This guy knows how to cut a proper heel promo and should really teach the system a thing or two. And he wanted to promote his new music video. It's terrible so far with the 5 seconds it plays. Joe Henry interrupts and is out. He has this hand wave gimmick. It works. The crowd chant, "We believe." Henry says thank you for sharing your music video. Henry has a music video of his own, and it's of Top Dollar. It's All I Know Is Falling Down. He goes on to say, I'll never win a world title, X Division, or the tag. He also calls him the Cheez-It Champ. This segment is hilarious. DJ Woo Kid doesn't like this and hits him with a laptop. And then Top Dollar on some offense. And Joe Henry is cheese slammed. Choke slammed to the Cheez-It box. Top Dollar steps on his neck and says, this is for you. We get a TNA Cheez-It chant. This is an awesome segment, really hilarious. I have no idea if Cheez-It is actually promoting anything on the show, but I would really love to see more of Top Dollar being the Cheez-It champ. Following that, we get a promo package. Water. Fire. Air and dirt. Fucking magnets. How do they work? Earlier today, Jordan arrives, as does Trinity with her title. This is like a classic Attitude Era style segment where they arrive in the arena, and something I really like. It adds a lot of depth to the show. Match 2. The System's Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards versus Eric Young and Kaz. The System is out first. They look lost. They are the Jobber System. If they were a system, what system would they be? Write down in the comments and let me know. Kaz is out next, and we get a commentary botch on the Heavy Metal Rebel. Eric Young with a creepy vignette. He comes out to a cover of Johnny Cash's God's Gonna Cut You Down. This is actually a really nice touch, but what happened to his Team Canada gimmick? In any event, he's out with his MF Doom mask. In ring, they decide who gets in. Eric tangles with Brian Myers. Young tries to break the fingers of Myers and follows it with some impressive belly-to-back suplexes. Tags are made and Kaz and Edwards face off. Bit of a back and forth, then to the outside. Super kick by Myers, and a dive from Eric Young. Back in the ring, Edwards with boots to Eric and some heel showmanship. Edwards tag to Myers. Myers headlock onto Eric Young, and we get a Myers taunt from there. Tag again, and Edwards chops to Eric and cheap shot to Kaz. Both run the ropes, then double crossbody. They both stretch to make the tag. And they do. Kaz versus Brian Myers, with Kaz on top. Guillotine leg drop to Eddie on the outside. Scoop slam and middle rope leg drop to Myers. Edwards in and gets a backstabber by Kaz. And a slingshot cutter to Myers. Double team by Myers and Edwards. Backpack stunner and elbow drop. Kaz reverses a roster cut by Myers into an unprettier. Elbow drop off the top rope by Eric. 1, 2, and Myers kicks out. We then get a roster cut and a Boston knee party by Myers and Edwards for the 1, 2, 3. The system wins in 12 minutes. I'm gonna give this the gray trash bag. I can't call it a bad match, but it's nothing noteworthy. Match 3, it's your hard to kill pre-show main event for the Digital Media Championship. Tommy Dreamer defends against Crazy Steve in a no DQ match. We get a Tommy Dreamer and Crazy Steve promo package. They've been feuding over a fork for months, as Steve stabbed Tommy in the back, literally, with a fork. So we get the fight bites, for that big fight feel. I actually really like this. Crazy Steve is out first, with that Corey Taylor-esque Slipknot mask. It's also reminiscent to David Cronenberg's character in Nightbreed. Tommy Dreamer out next with his digital media title. On commentary, they say Tommy hit his goal weight of 280 from 320. Good work, Tommy. The ref shows off the new digital media title. Really nice design here. The crowd chant for Crazy Steve. Steve starts by biting Tommy's face, and he eats a clothesline for his trouble. Steve hits a cutter from the ring apron, tap of the temple, but it costs him, as Dreamer smacks Steve to the outside, and hits him with a suplex on the mat. Tommy Dreamer then plugs the TNA rally towel. I know an old TNA fan who should be receiving royalties over this gimmick. On commentary, they make mention of Steve's old faction, The Decay, established in 2016. I wonder if that'll have any impact on later tonight. Steve regains the advantage and hits a few fetishistic chair shots, as Steve tastes the chair. Tommy makes him finish his meal and eat the chair. That is until the Raven Classic drop toe hold onto the chair from Steve to Tommy. Then, more violence with the chair ensues, followed up by a sick-looking neck snap by Steve. And he continues to work Dreamer's neck. Steve pulls out the fork from his boot, and now tries to eat Tommy's nose. Tommy regains the advantage with a bionic elbow, the Dusty Classic, and a power slam to the chair. Lots of chair spots, including a sick-looking cutter with the chair. Trash is thrown into the ring. I don't remember going there. Crazy Steve brings in the kendo stick, so Tommy gets to use it. The ring is full of garbage that Tommy sifts through and attacks Steve with some trash. Then Dreamer is sent face first into the trash can. Steve gets the Abyss Classic, an unmarked black bag. Spoiler, it's not thumbtacks. He ties Tommy's hands together, then out of the black bag, a fork. Or a bunch of forks. He stuffs him in Dreamer's shirt and then stomps on him. He then piles on the rest of the forks and runs into Dreamer with a cannonball. Belladonna's Kiss for the pin and win. Crazy Steve is your new digital media champion in under 17 minutes. A very fun matchup here, and the only hardcore representation on the show. It gets a gold trash bag for me. I'm biased because I love both these guys, but there was truly some good shit here. And also with it being the only hardcore match of the evening, really makes it feel that much more special. We then get a promo for Ultimate X. Matthew Raywalt and Tom Hannafin up in the balcony. They run down the match card. Knockout Ultimate X match for the #1 contendership. Tasha Steelz takes on Alicia Edwards versus Giselle Shaw versus Jody Threat versus Zaya Brookside versus Danny Luna. Then PCO takes on Dirty Dango. After that, an X Division title match as Chris Sabin defends against both Kushida and Vikingo. Then a test of strength as Josh Alexander takes on the new signee Alexander Hammerstone. Then a 4-way tag bout for the TNA World Tag Team Championship as the reigning champions ABC take on the Rascals, the Grizzled Young Vets, Mike Bailey and Laredo Kid. Following that, for the Knockouts World Championship, Trinity defends her title against Jordan Grace. And finally, the TNA World Heavyweight title is on the line as Alex Shelley defends against Moose. That is all for the pre-show. I'll see you at TNA Hard to Kill 2024. Later, trash bags.